Hey, welcome back to How to Barbecue Right. I'm Malcolm Reed. Y'all, today I'm hanging out at my smokehouse and I'm doing a little bit of experimenting. I've been seeing people take these slabs of ribs, cut them up into individual bone pieces, and then cook them on a grill with a little Vortex setup, getting that indirect high heat, and cooking ribs in about half the time. Now, I don't know if they're gonna be any good. I don't think they'll be as juicy as a whole rack of ribs, but if they turn out, I think we got us some party ribs, y'all. Let's get to cooking. So y'all, I got 2 racks of baby back ribs. If you wanted to, you could probably do spare ribs this way, but I've seen everybody do the baby backs. And the only thing I've done to them is took them out of the package, got some of that moisture off of them, and jerked that membrane off the back side. So I'm just gonna use a knife, and we're gonna start on this small end, and I'm gonna start cutting these dudes up. Now, you just want a single bone rib. Now, you're gonna have some that are smaller than others because of the way the ribs taper off. Right away, I'm thinking, like, if this is gonna be a party rib, it's gonna be a great way to get a lot of pieces out of just 2 bones of meat, so it saves you a little money. And if it's for an appetizer, for tailgate or something like that, it's really a great way to do ribs. That's a big old rib bone, man. Get to gnawing on that dude when it gets charred up. If there's anything hanging off of them that you don't like, go ahead and knock it off. But these look pretty good. Gives me more to gnaw on. 12 and 2 little kickers. That ain't bad out of a slab of ribs. I think you're gonna lose some of the moisture that you would get by smoking a whole rack of ribs. But speeding up the process, it's gonna be more of kind of a grilled high heat rib than it is a slow smoked super tender rib. So I imagine they'll have a little bit of integrity. That just means toughness. So I got the ribs all cut up. Now we gotta get some seasoning on them. And this part is totally up to y'all, whatever you wanna put on them. Today, since I'm kind of thinking party ribs or party wing style, I'm just going with some hot rub on them. I know I'm gonna glaze them at the end, so we just need to get some seasoning on them. We want some heat, a little salt and pepper. Those barbecue flavors never hurt nothing. But get a good coat. I didn't use a binder, just putting some seasoning on the outside. We're just gonna make sure they're all covered. So come in and start flipping them over. Do the same thing to the opposite side. Now I'm just gonna let these ribs hang out here and I'm gonna go fire up the Weber. So I've got my Weber good and hot now. What I did was I put my charcoal Vortex down inside, filled it up with some charcoal briquettes. Y'all know I got that royal oak, stuck a tumbleweed right in the center and just let them get hot. It takes about 15, 20 minutes. We're ready to put the grate on, and we're gonna be ready to add the ribs. So we're gonna get our ribs around this Vortex. I don't know if they're all gonna fit or not. I got 2 racks of ribs. I'm gonna do my best to put them all on. You just don't wanna put them over the Vortex. The Vortex stays in the center, the ribs go around the edge. I don't know how hot it is over that Vortex, but I know it'll take your arm hair off. Man, y'all check this out. I am gonna be 2 racks of ribs is just right. So we're just gonna put the Weber lid right on the grill. I'm gonna leave the vent 100% open. Every 15 minutes, I'm gonna come in and give this dude about a quarter turn, just so the air is flowing around. I'm expecting it to take about an hour and a half, but we ain't worried about time here. We just cooking these ribs until I think they're done. All right, it's been 30 minutes. So it's time to look at these party ribs. And we still got a good bit of coals. It is hot. They're looking okay. I mean, they ain't nowhere near close, but I want to see this backside. Oh, they cooking, y'all. They cooking. Are they going to get tender like this? That's my big question. I mean, I'm imagining them being more like a grilled rib or kind of like a pork chop on a bone, having that texture. All right, so we're going to put the lid back on. Let's call it 12 o'clock position. 15 minutes, I'm gonna turn it another, and then 30 minutes when we get back to where we started, it'll be time to flip them again. So 1 hour in, we're gonna take a look at our rib bones, and they looking pretty dang good, man. We're starting to get some color on them. We're gonna start with this old ugly little one and do another flip, because I know they ain't done. It's only been 1 hour. I'm expecting at least an hour and a half before I start trying to see if they're getting did. I wanna take them close to, I'm thinking 200. Internal. But you know, they looking good. I don't know about y'all, but I'd eat one. Still got plenty of coals in my Vortex. It's throwing some heat out from around the sides, the edges of the Vortex, but the bulk of it's coming straight out the center going into the dome of the grill. But we're gonna put our lid on. We're right back where we started. And we're just gonna keep going 15 minutes and still rotating that lid. And I'm gonna go, I'll start temping them here a little bit. And I gotta think up a sauce to put on these because they're gonna need some kind of glaze. Let's see what I can come up with. All right, we could glaze these individual rib bones with whatever kind of sauce we want. Barbecue sauce would be great. I mean, it is a rib, but since I'm calling them party ribs, I got to thinking, man, what would it be like if we did like a little sweet and spicy Asian sauce on them? So that's what I'm gonna throw together. I've got probably about ½ cup of brown sugar in a bowl. I'm gonna add some soy sauce. Now I'm adding some hoisin sauce, which is, you know, they call it a barbecue sauce. So gotta have some heat. So I've got some sriracha, and I'm just eyeballing that honey, maybe about a good tablespoon or so. A little bit of ginger, and I'm cheating, just using this in the paste. Then I got a little bit of sesame oil. It don't take much of this stuff. Gives it a nice nutty flavor. Now, to balance it out, some rice wine vinegar. You could use apple cider vinegar if you had to. I'm gonna season it up with a little more heat. I got some crushed red pepper. I want it spicy today, y'all. Now I'm gonna get a handful of these fresh green onions. All you gotta do is fork it up. I'm not heating it up. I guess you could if you wanted to, but since we're just putting it on as a glaze, the grill, the heat from that Vortex is gonna caramelize this sauce when we get ready for it. Now let me see. Is it good? That'll hit right there. All right, it has been an hour and a half. Now I want to check my internal temperatures and start seeing this one close. Ooh, that's pretty soft. Look at that, 198, 200, 185 on these farther ones. Ooh, that's soft. The texture on them is feeling good. I think we're ready to glaze, because by the time I glaze them another 5-7 minutes on each side, we're gonna be ready. They're in that 195, 200 range internal. That tells me they ought to be done almost. So now we're gonna take this glaze that I whipped up and we're gonna put it on the back side of these ribs. Oh, listen to it sizzle. I like it. Man, it smells good. I'm gonna let it set about 5 minutes. Do the same thing once we flip them all again. And it's gonna be time to eat some bones, y'all. We're gonna find out if these little bones are party worthy. We're gonna put our lid right back on. We were at this position, 12 o'clock. We're gonna go about 5-7 minutes, let that sauce start to glaze on the outside, flip them over, repeat. Look at that rib, y'all. It's glistening with that little sauce we put on it. The heat's not as hot right now, so my coals are doing good. This is about an hour and 40 minutes or so into the cook with these coals rolling, so I've got some good burn. But this is enough ribs to feed some folks. If you had some wings to go with it, you throw another load on here, maybe put a few more coals on it. Let's get our glaze back, start hitting these ribs with it. Trying to be fast to hurry up and get the lid back on. I guess you could dunk them, but this is probably about the easiest way to me, just brushing them. I'm not going super thick with this sauce either, because I just want that light, sticky flavor. It's kind of a sticky rib. You could put this sauce on all kinds of stuff. It'd be fantastic on wings too. So I'm just gonna sit the lid right back on. Another 5 to 7 minutes, let that side have time to sit there, stay in that heat, glaze a little bit. It's gonna be time to try a rib bone, y'all. All right, these ribs are done now. Total time's been like 1 hour, 45 minutes. I mean, it don't get no easier than that. I mean, just look at these ribs, y'all. The sauce is glazed on, they're bubbling. Check this one out. This might be a photo rib. Now that's a meaty rib, glazed on all sides. I hope it's tender and juicy. We're gonna find out. Get them off the fire, and we're going to have us a little rib party. So we at the cutting board, y'all, and I just garnished these with a little bit of that extra green onion I had left over. And I'm gonna tell you, this is one recipe that I'm really excited about trying, you know. I didn't know, I was skeptical. Let's see if they're tender. Oh yeah, that's freaking phenomenal. I wouldn't say they're as tender as like a whole rack of ribs, but it's a whole different rib. Caramelized around the whole thing. They are juicy. I've still got a lot of juice in there. We got some smoke ring action going. You taste the grill on these from being that close to the charcoal, I guess. The sticky sweet sauce, it's savory. It's kind of got that Asian profile to it. It's not too hot, but you know the heat's there. Now, I don't see nothing wrong with serving these at a tailgate or any kind of party you're having where you got a lot of people coming over eating finger type food. These party ribs will go right with it. Hold on, I'm gonna eat this one. These jokers are delicious. I mean, you get the smoke, you get the spice, you get the sweet, you get the savoriness. A little bit of that Asian flair, the ginger comes through, the sesame oil, and I don't mind gnawing on a bone. That's where the flavor is. Hey y'all, thanks for hanging out with us here today at the Smokehouse. If y'all like what we're doing, subscribe to that channel. I know we'll be putting out more videos all year long. Shell and I are gonna talk about these party ribs on our next podcast. Y'all give that a listen next week. Know you can find us on all the social channels. We'll see y'all next time. Let's get down on some ribs, y'all.